Welcome back to my road to completion guide for Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin. This is episode 2. Use the key we purchased from the merchant in episode 1 to unlock the door to the workshop. The blacksmith will move inside the workshop once we rest at the bonfire. We'll stop by later to get the short bow and rapier. Go inside the house in the back of Majula and grab the Pharros Lockstone from the library. I'll explain what Lockstones do later in the guide. Go downstairs and use the throwing knives to kill the skeleton. Then grab the Estus Flask Shard and Soul Vessel. Soul Vessels are used to reallocate stat points we've given to our character. We will never use this item, but I do have a few routed into the run in case you want to adjust stat points for your character. If you're a beginner, I would only follow my character's path, but for those of you who understand the game, you may want to play around with different builds later in the guide. You can make adjustments to your stats by fast traveling to things betwixt and talking to the lady sitting at the table inside the house. Go upstairs, grab the Titanite shards and torches from the chest, then use all the souls in your inventory. Buy 2 Alluring Skulls from the cat, then head back over to the workshop.
Oh, no, you do have a type. Satisfied?
Talk to the blacksmith and buy the rapier along with 3 Titanite shards.
And you are a man ought not Roman. Oh, what your equipment?
Now reinforce the rapier to +3 using the Titanite we've collected.
I'll be around.
Talk to the Emerald Herald and level up the following stats so we can equip the Rapier +3 plus a shield we plan to get later in the episode. Take Strength to 16, and Dex to 12.
Seek those whose their souls once you have found, so that hope will not. Is that a shard? Here, let me seek to see light, however fit.
After leveling up, give her 3 Estus Flask shards to increase your total Estus Flask count to 4. Rest at the bonfire and burn the Sublime Bone Dust to increase the amount of health we gain each time we drink from our Estus Flask. Now fast travel back to the Cardinal Tower bonfire. Equip the Rapier +3 and the short bow so we can practice using them. Cycle between the Rapier and the short bow by pressing right on the D-pad. Free aim mode is great for sniping targets at long range, while the lock-on is better for medium and close range targets. Go outside so we can experiment with the Rapier. The Rapier does quite a bit of damage because we have it leveled up to 3, plus our dexterity is 12. As we continue to level up dexterity and reinforce the Rapier even more, our damage will increase substantially, allowing us to kill most of the enemies in the game within 2 to 6 hits. We will also pick up a few rings that will improve our damage even more. Remember, never attack first. Our goal is to counterattack, so we keep defense our #1 priority. Hitting an enemy's shield leaves us open to counterattacks, so be careful. If you're nervous about counterattacks, keep your shield raised so you can attack with the Rapier and maintain your defensive stance at the same time. This results in less damage dealt to your opponent but keeps you protected, so you can use this strategy when your HP is low or you're fighting multiple targets at once. You can fight behind your shield by holding L1 and tapping R1 at the same time. So let's recap. Attacking with the Rapier behind the shield does the least amount of damage but keeps you protected. A one-handed Rapier attack does more damage but leaves you a little vulnerable, but with the simple press of the L1 button, your shield is back in action and you're protected. A two-handed Rapier attack does the most damage but you're extremely vulnerable because your shield is on your back. This requires you to press triangle followed by L1 to be able to use the shield and the Rapier at the same time. Take the time to practice these movements and get a good understanding of how they work. Feel free to practice on other enemies or out in the open. You can find more enemies down the ladder. If you're nervous about dying, set up a safety save before you practice. When you're done, follow me to the fog gate and set up a safety save. We are allowed to summon phantoms to help us clear areas and fight bosses, but the souls we gain are decreased, plus the boss gets more health. This time around we'll pass on summoning the phantom, but this won't always be the case because some trophies are tied to summoning phantoms. When the fight starts, the boss will charge us, but we can avoid getting hit by running between its legs. Wait for the boss to turn around, lock onto either leg, and run underneath the boss each time it moves forward. Hit the leg 2 times and quickly back away to avoid getting stomped. If you're late getting into position, only attack the leg once to stay safe. Repeat this process until the boss dies to get the soul of the last giant, soldier key, and another trophy. When the fight is over, grab 10 fire arrows off the corpse at the top of the lift. Use the soldier key to open the locked door, grab the soul and life gems to the right of the fog gate, and set up a safety save. Practice rolling before entering the fog gate by tapping the circle button to get a feel for the speed, distance, and stamina used with each roll. There are 2 strategies for defeating the next boss, and the first one involves rolling at the perfect time. If you can nail this roll, you can quickly sprint to the ballista and spam the X button to defeat the boss. If you're having trouble timing the roll, then follow this strategy. Use the shield and counterattack twice each time he does the jumping slash attack. You can obviously counter other attacks, but the jumping slash attack is the safest. If you need to heal, wait until he attacks because it takes a few seconds to use the Flask and Lifegem. The only attack you need to worry about is his thrust attack because it will connect even when you're blocking. The best way to avoid this attack is to time a roll so the invincibility frames kick in, keeping you safe, or sprint in the opposite direction. I would encourage you to defeat this boss using the first strategy, but you're free to pick whichever method works best for you. Defeating this boss gives us the soul of the pursuer and the ring of blades. When the fight is over, grab the Drangleic equipment from the corpse and follow me to the next area. Open both chests to get the dull Ember and human effigies. Rest at the bonfire and equip the following: Ring of Blades, Drangleic Shield, and Drangleic Mail. Grab the large Titanite Shard from the ledge and clear the enemies inside the tower. You can kill the enemy on the platform with the Rapier and the dogs with the explosive barrel or throwing knives. To kill the dogs with the explosive barrel, simply wait for the dog closest to the door to walk toward the dog on the right, then push the barrel off to cause a massive explosion. Run to the chest, but don't open it. Instead, run back to the tower to avoid the pursuer. When he leaves the area, open the chest to get the Fragrant branch of Yore. This item removes petrification from NPCs and enemies, and we'll need to collect a lot more in order to complete the run. Climb the ladder and make your way to the next tower. Inside you'll find an NPC named Lucatiel and a chest. Exhaust Lucatiel's dialogue and grab the Antiquated Key from the chest.
What is it? I don't know you. Things are better that. Normally, I'm called Luke from the land. They say Dran, and so I came. But what a You are an odd. Well, you've made. I can see that you. I come from. Don't hesitate. You are an odd. Well, you've made. I can see that you are. I come from Mirror. Don't hesitate to call upon. You are. Well, you've. I can see. I come. Don't hesitate.
Use the railing outside to access the ladder so we can get another large Titanite Shard. Be very careful fighting this enemy because it's easy for him to knock you off the walkway. The barrels are also a problem because they explode if the enemy hits them with his weapon. I suggest falling back to the room where Lucatiel was, or even the previous walkway for safety. Grab the gold pine resin around the corner and set up a safety save. Kill the enemy and push the barrel into the wall at the bottom of the steps. If the barrel doesn't explode, but it's close enough to the wall, you can use the other firebomb in your inventory to ignite it. You can always load up your safety save if you fail to destroy the wall. Light the bonfire and press triangle to cycle through the prompts so you can light the torch. Use the torch to light the sconce inside the workshop and rest at the bonfire to move the blacksmith. Loot the chest inside the workshop for the following items: 10 iron arrows, 'Twinkling Titanite, 5 Titanite Shards, 2 large Titanite Shards. Use the souls in your inventory, including the boss souls. Give the dull ember we picked up earlier to Blacksmith McDuff.
Oh. Shape. Oh, dear. Flynn, I'm not doing so. Right now. You've got stones. Give me stones.
After that, buy the following items: 400 iron arrows, 2 large Titanite Shards, use your available Titanite to reinforce the short bow to +6. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you in the next one. Be good.